After getting 45th overall in the Unbound 200 amateur field last year, I'm back. And I've got some bike updates I want to share with you. Just got back from a ride to recon the course. And first, a few updates from our sponsors. So just wanted to say thanks to Dunbar Cycles in Vancouver, Seva in Kitsilano in Vancouver as well as Abus. So thank you for the support again this year. We really appreciate that. Precision Fuel and Hydration, JBNP with Magene. We're now on Magene cycling computers and products, which are awesome. Pickpockets, love you, Noah. You're doing a great work out there as well. I hope that's it. But let's hit up the bike first of all. So last year the bike obviously suited me quite well. 45th was way better than I expected to do. I'd never done a race this long. It's particularly Unbound is just it attracts a lot of attention, a lot of fierce competitors. It was the amateur field, but those guys are killers out there. So I was pretty impressed with how I did. I didn't even get great luck. I did crash in the first hour, falling behind a guy who lost control, and I ended up going down with him. Chased back on, huge effort in the day, and ended up flatting, and then lost my chain, and that was it. Then it was just survival, and it was amazing to see all the riders later blow up, and I just kept going. So I think the last year the mountain bike tires did a lot for me, and I think gear is progressing and moving on. So this year we've got some changes, and the big change that I've made, and I made it pretty recently, I'd been agonizing about a suspension fork for about a half a year after Unbound last year, thinking there was a lot of kind of debate, I think, out there as to whether impedance is and the vibrational losses that you get, how much that really affects you, and how much even mountain bike tires make a difference versus some of the sort of more traditional 45 to 50 width tires. So the mountain bike tire last year did really well, but I think I just decided, really, it was about a week ago, which is not long ago, that I was going to run some mud tires. So I'm going to show you later, but I was running some 40s for mud and just trying to figure out how that was going to be. Riding a 6-hour day, horrible. If you ever want to understand how good mountain bike tires and just general wider tires are, go back to 40s. It's a game changer, or the opposite. It will ruin your day. Like just riding behind a teammate, it was unbelievable, the sort of the vibrations but just the vertical losses that you're getting compared to somebody on just a bigger chunk of rubber. So it made me think a lot about whether even the mountain bike tire was doing enough potentially, and whether there was some gains to be made there. Found a guy in Marketplace, managed to get the deal sorted out, found a mechanic to put it on. So I do have the Cane Creek Invert fork on my bike now, and I am pretty in love with it, I have to say. Like, I was very worried that just the way that it was just going to change the bike's geometry is certainly a concern. Shout out to Noah in Vancouver, Noah Dutch, who does my bike fitting. She gave me some tips as to what I can do to get my position relatively the same, because this is putting me 35 mils higher, accounting for sag. So that's a big difference. I had to go to completely slam, take away this headset, the top cap, and actually a -12 angle stem. So I have to say the position does feel perfect, just coming off this 80K ride, and it's unbelievable the way that this just absorbs the road. It's a game changer. What can I say? Like, it's heavier. I'm still not convinced, or I guess I still don't know how it's going to be in single track locally to Vancouver. But certainly for what it needs to do for this race, it's going to do an awesome job. So that's the big change. The other change I made, if you watched the video last year, I did run 3 bottles, and I was running smaller bottles. So this year, I'm going to take, it's not really a risk, but 750 mils versus 500 mil bottles, and only 2 of them. So same amount of fluid, but then I can hold the frame bag. One of the things that definitely, I got pretty lucky that it wasn't muddy, because there was a lot of like things taped to my bike and just, things that were exposed to the elements. And so having the frame bag is going to be pretty sweet. The other thing that I kind of want to do, and to be honest, I'm still debating it, but I'd like to potentially run the Insta360. So probably below the stem here, tape it somewhere in this vicinity, maybe onto the Cane Creek the Cane Creek computer mount, and actually run the Insta360. This does apparently have a cable port, and I do have an external battery that technically I could run the Insta360 the whole race. So that'd be pretty sick. I mean, TBD. You'll definitely see it on the channel if I do record the whole race. I think that would be great. I guess, like, while we're taking just a quick break between components here that I've changed, I did have a concussion 6 weeks ago, so I'm still symptomatic to that, and I'm just honestly not in the same fitness as I was last year. So hey, I've got some gear, improvements. Maybe we can pick up a couple of watts here and there. But yeah, the sensations have not been the same. So you know what? It wouldn't be a total loss if I recorded the whole race, didn't get the same result as I did last year. I think I did great, to my expectations last year, and sliding back wouldn't be that disappointing to me. Of course, I want to move forward, but getting the race recorded, I think that would be pretty sweet, full footage. Yeah, so in terms of what I'm running, this does not fit a mountain bike tire up front, so there's a ton of space here, but this is actually a Tufo Gravel Thundero in the Duke rim. This is the wide rim that I showed last year. I did steal this from Dylan, I will admit. I mean, I didn't know about Duke before he mentioned that, but the reality is like, like I said, the roadie in me sees a wide rim like this, and it's just obvious that the aero profiling makes a lot more sense. Envy's just come out with some really, game-changing rims, I think, as well. The profile there, I've already seen a lot of people out there at Unbound. It's amazing the gear you see here, but there's certainly nothing wrong with the Dukes. I'm happy to stand pat and keep these for the race. So still got my Precision fuel and hydration top gel flask. This thing is it's so good. I have 3 of these packed, so for each aid station. And then I've got my Magine C706. This thing rules. It is unbelievable what Magine is doing with their computers. This is like a $300 computer, and it's gonna route and map, and yeah, it's basically a flagship machine with half the price or even less. Still rocking the dual seat post. This is probably the one thing last year that I was just crazy fresh in the saddle. I guess you're never fresh anywhere really, but in terms of my contact points, this was like the best one. I'm running gloves again because you just do get a ton of skin abrasion and stuff like that. I think it's a good idea to run gloves, even with the suspension fork. I don't usually run gloves, but I do for this race. Okay, yeah, just update this GRX 2x system. It's an unsung hero, baby. Like 2x for life. To be honest, I would run 1x, but this has been killing it. The clutch works great. Don't lose a chain ever with this drivetrain, and like the front derailleur is so strong, and it's so good at keeping the chain on. You don't really even need a chain. Like, there obviously can't use a chain guide with a 2x, but it feels like it's its own chain guide for the drivetrain. It worked great. The Power 2 Max power meter works awesome. The Magine stuff I don't have it on my bike yet, but that's also going to be good. Yeah, okay, let's move on to some contact points. I changed my shoes. This is a big deal, guys. So shoes, my left toe is apparently slightly larger than my right, or I don't know, maybe my foot is just longer. Last year, the bounce that I had, my foot expanded and I nearly lost my toenail after the race. It went completely black and almost fell off. Yeah, just, the amount of swelling that you have in your feet is crazy. Okay, so yeah, definitely make sure that you've got some room to swell if you're going to do this race, because that was probably the one piece of gear that F's me over the most, was my shoes. Like, it was just so painful by the end of the race, and actually honestly just hard to stay on the pedals, and just painful. but you know, you push through it. All right, so here's the tire situation. Way more prepared than last year for tires, way more prepared than probably most people need to be. But essentially, this is kind of my intermediary. I've got the 48 Thundero. I think that that's a really good tire in terms of rolling speed, but it's also crazy puncture protective. Like, if you look at rollingresistance.com, the puncture protection is like double anything else in its rolling category. So this is kind of my primary tire. It is also intermittent, like there's a lot of potential for rain in the next couple days. Like, it's dry now, which is why I want to do this video. But next couple days, it could be pretty rainy. So if it does get too rainy, I do have a 45 Pathfinder that I can size down to. And if for some reason it dries up, I got Dubnitol. So Dubnitol 50, these are super hard to find right now, but I did buy a couple in town before I saw the weather. So the weather's likely not going to allow me to run these. These are pretty wide. And then this is the nuclear option. So this is my Vision SL60 rim from my road setup. And this is a road wheel, 60 deep, but has, it's actually rated for gravel. And so I've got a 40 Pathfinder on here. This is a proven tire from Unbound. And this is essentially, if you're unfamiliar with why you would, you know, size down your tires, essentially the mud here will just stick to the tire. And so the smaller